Hello and welcome to the Inner Mileage channel. My name is Dr. Nanajasi, transformational coach here at Inner Mileage, where we help folks optimize, transform, and live resonant lives right here, right now. Today I want to talk a little bit about empaths, who they are, how they are shaped, and their purpose in this world. And if you've ever felt emotions deeply, almost as if they belong to someone else, or if you're the go-to person in your circle for advice and emotional support, this exploration might shed some light on your unique nature. We'll dive into the science, psychology, and spiritual perspectives that define an empath, and we'll explore the traits that set them apart and discuss ways to identify if you are an empath and discover the role they play in this interconnected world. And throughout this journey, we'll reference significant works just to make it clear what is an empath. So to start, empathy is a term we often hear. But what's the difference between empathy and being an empath? Empathy itself was, maybe the definition I'll use from Carl Rogers, is the ability to feel and understand another person's experience. But for empaths, this process goes even deeper. An empath can feel the emotions of those around them as if it was their own, sometimes even without conscious effort. And even in studies like the Journal of Positive Psychology, it suggests that empaths' brains are wired to respond more intensely to the emotional states of others. And their heightened emotional response is an integral part of who they are, not just an occasional experience. Further, references and research by Dr. Elaine Aron, who pioneered research on highly sensitive people, HSPs, explains that sensitivity is often a genetic trait. Roughly 20%, according to her, of the population is considered highly sensitive. But within that group, empaths represent an even smaller, more distinct subset characterized by acute emotional and sensory awareness. So to be clear, not all empaths are the same. Just as there are unique shades to every individual's personality, there are different types of empaths, each with specialized sensitivity. So let's go over a few types. Emotional empaths, they pick up on and deeply feel the emotions of those around them. This is really key. Then there are intuitive empaths. These empaths can sense the underlying intentions or energy in a room, often knowing things without any visible clues, something I can relate to. I'm sure some of you watching this can relate to. Then there are physical empaths. They experience physical symptoms in response to others' discomfort. For example, a friend's headache might become their own. And if any of these descriptions, just a few, resonate with you, they are signs of your empathy as described. So now that we've understood the characteristics of empaths, let's explore how empaths are created. Is it nature? Is it nurture? Or is it both? Who's an empath? So research, indicates that both genetic and environmental factors play a role. Studies on empathy reveal that certain genetic markers, particularly those tied to serotonin production, can increase sensitivity. In fact, the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology has published findings linking specific gene variations with higher empathy scores, suggesting that empaths may be born with an innate predisposition toward heightened sensitivity. Beyond science, it's important to always ground it in evidence. Various cultures and spiritual traditions view empaths as spiritually gifted or chosen. Spiritually gifted or chosen. Indigenous cultures, for example, see empaths as sensitives who possess a deeper connection to the spirit of the earth and its people. From Eastern mysticism to Native American beliefs, these individuals are revered as healers and guides. And in these traditions, the empath's sensitivity is not only respected, but seen as essential for the community's well-being. Interestingly, life experiences, particularly trauma, can shape or amplify empathic abilities, which is why a lot of empaths emerge from generational trauma, narcissistic abuse, and so forth. And in fact, trauma expert Dr. Bessel van der Kolk describes people who experience significant hardship, especially early in life, often develop very heightened awareness. And for some, these experiences serve as a training ground, enabling them to detect subtle emotional shifts in others. Trauma, while challenging, I tell you that, can awaken latent empathic abilities. It's very key. So it begets the question, how can you tell you're an empath? How do you know you're an empath? This term is just bandied around: empath, chosen, starseed, lightworker. There are many signs to look out for. While not everyone will experience all of them, here are some common indicators, particularly using the work and the self-assessment of psychiatrist Dr. Judith Orloff, who has written significantly on empaths and empathy. So some of the questions that can guide you, just a few, maybe two or three, the following. 1, do you feel overwhelmed in crowded places? Not in a kind of panic attack kind of way, but feeling the energies and sensitivities. Do people often tell you you're very understanding or easy to talk to? For example, you meet people and within minutes they're telling you your whole life story. Or people gravitate to come and talk to you. And do you need regular time alone to recharge? That's another sign. If you answered yes to any of these, you may be an empath. And the point isn't to label yourself as such, but rather to understand the way you interact with the world. Recognizing these traits can help you navigate life more and more consciously. So what's the purpose of empaths? Well, the concept of an empath as a healer is common across cultures and research. In fact, empaths play a vital role in fostering understanding, compassion, and healing within society. And in studies on group dynamics, psychologists have found that empathy fosters cohesion and reduces conflict. These are essential traits for teamwork and community building. So imagine the impact when a group includes people who naturally absorb and process the emotions of others. See, the research of Brené Brown on vulnerability highlights that society's most profound changes come from individuals who deeply understand and empathize with others' struggles. Empaths serve as bridges capable of holding space for emotions, even when challenging. And this unique ability makes them invaluable, especially in helping professions such as counseling, teaching, and community organizing. So you see, there's a lot of utility for empaths in this world. Now, living in the digital age brings certainly new challenges for empaths. So with constant exposure to social media, news, and global events, empaths, especially in this day and time, can feel overwhelmed by the perpetual cycle of suffering. This is often called empathy fatigue, and it shows that high levels of empathy can lead to burnout if not managed well. To counter this, however, empaths must learn boundaries and self-care. Dr. Orloff's work emphasizes grounding techniques, mindful practices, and energy shielding as ways to protect oneself from emotional overload. So what are some strategies to thrive as an empath? Well, boundaries are very crucial because empaths attract all kinds: dark, light energies, good, bad energies, because empathy is empathy. And for empaths, learning to set healthy boundaries allows them to engage with others without depleting themselves. Mindfulness, meditation, and grounding exercises can help empaths center their energy and strengthen their emotional resilience. And in a world that increasingly demands empathy and compassion, empaths have an essential role by learning to protect their energy so they can share their gifts without risking burnout. So imagine a world where empaths step into leadership positions where they guide policy, foster inclusive communities, and advocate for social justice. Empaths truly have the potential to shift societal norms, in fact, towards more compassion. This is the time for that. More inclusivity and greater understanding. And as we look towards the future, particularly considering how divisive the whole world has been for the last few years, we need empaths now more than ever. And for those who identify as empaths, embracing this gift is not just about a personal journey, but a collective one, shaping the world for the better. If you identify as an empath, know that your journey matters. Embrace your sensitivity, seek balance, and consider how your unique gifts can contribute to a more compassionate world. Thank you for joining us. If this resonated and I can be of help, type transform in the comment section or send me a message at nana@innermileage.com. Well, you can book a free session at my website, innermileage.com. All the details are below. And recognize that as an empath, there's absolutely no one like you. You're not better or worse. You're unique and set apart. Recognize that. Peace.